Is Bill Gates pure evil? And why is he trying to gain so much control and influence over the world's food supply? The biggest landowner in and out of America, over control of genetically modified crops and other foods, fake meat and cultured lab-made chicken and synthetic beef. Oh, and robotic AI bees that can pollinate and germinate, as well as dangerous mosquitoes that threaten the health and safety of people. Well, that is unless you get your ticket punched and agree to accept the latest booster or jab. However, in order to get ready and get prepared, the thought of moving out and purchasing farmland to start a homestead and grow our own food has been more and more of a consideration. But there seems to be one major problem. We can't. And in fact, nobody can, or at least won't be able to if this continues to happen. Here, take a look.
Yeah, so let's talk about what are we eating? What is he growing on Gates' farmland?
Right. And I should clarify, he's not actually the one doing the farming. He's more like a landlord, right? So he acquired all this land and then other companies are doing the farming on it. And a lot of this is kind of big ag, right? So in Florida, we've got carrots. In Georgia, there are Vidalia onions. Now, he's actually sold the Vidalia onion farms to another farmer in Georgia, but he did have those for some time. In Louisiana, we're looking at soybeans, rice, cotton, soybeans in Nebraska. And then what's, I think, most interesting is that in Washington state, in the southern border, right above Oregon, he has a 14,500 acre plot of land that is growing the potatoes that turns into French fries for McDonald's. So that's something we really didn't expect, especially because he's so committed to public health.
Gates' land acquisitions were kept secretive and noted that a May 4, 2021 article revealed that the billionaire has purchased 200,000 acres of land in 18 states. Other reports shared how Gates' attempts to influence the agriculture system in other countries, including India and Africa, ended up as a fiasco, underlining the repercussions of letting a businessman make farming decisions. And even worse, critics say the Alliance for a Green Revolution in Africa, which was founded in 2006 with money from the Gates and Rockefeller Foundations, has promoted an industrial model of agriculture that poisons soils with chemicals and encourages farmers to go in debt, deep into debt by buying expensive seeds, fertilizers, and pesticides. Consequently, as a result of that debt, some farmers have had to sell their land or household goods like stoves and TVs. A case study, according to critics, is the push for a green revolution in Africa, which has spent $1 billion, much of it from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. It's a trap. Or is it? Gates does not appear to count his farming investments as the nation's largest farmland owner as part of his broader strategy to save the climate. And that's where the biggest trouble comes in. Bill Gates is not a farmer, and he is making it abundantly clear that he instead is merely just a landlord in his quest to acquire as much fertile land as possible to then only allow farmers to rent the soil and continuously pay higher prices every month on their farm lease and have to use expensive and proprietary seeds and fertilizers and pesticides to grow their crops. Genetically modified, of course. And at any given time can be evicted and receive nothing for all the hard work, blood, sweat, and tears poured into keeping this country fed, food on the shelves, stocked in pantries and on kitchen tables. So Bill Gates owns more than 269,000 acres of farmland across 18 states, which is more than the entire acreage of New York City. And the farmland was purchased through a constellation of companies that all link back to the couple's investment group, Cascade Investments, based in Kirkland, Washington. Their land holdings range from 70,000 acres in northern Louisiana, where their farmland tenants grow soybeans, corn, cotton, and rice, to 20,000 acres in Nebraska, where other farmers are likely paying rent just to be able to grow their soybeans there too. They bought and then later sold another 6,000 acres in Georgia, and in Washington, the Gateses own more than 14,000 acres of farmland that includes potato fields so massive that they are visible from space, and some of which are processed into French fries for McDonald's. And in Florida, farmers who don't necessarily own the land that they're cultivating, they grow carrots on their property owned by Gates' shell corporations. These land holdings are separate from their previous investments in companies that support large-scale farming like Monsanto, the company known for the massive Roundup lawsuit that has been linked to be potentially a cancer-causing carcinogen to humans. A shocking statistic that a lot of people just don't know about is how about 40% of farmland is owned by seniors 65 years old or older, which means they are anxiously awaiting more farmland to become available and up for sale on the market soon. And as a young farmer looking for an opportunity to get their start and on a path to self-sufficiency and sustainability, well, it might not be so simple, as they're going to be up against some stiff competition with billions of dollars at their disposal to buy up all this land. I mean, can you imagine submitting an offer to buy land from more than likely a young couple who just happened to inherit tens of thousands of acres of pristine farmland from their parents' or grandparents' estate? Odds are these people are not looking to ditch their lives in suburban or urban city living and careers to till the fields and milk cows, but instead are looking for a payday and a windfall from the sale. Enough cash to get them out of debt, keep their heads above water in these challenging economic and high inflationary times amidst a recession. And they will take a look at the offers, the finance and contingency-laced negotiation that young farmers will be trying to bet the farm on just to get their piece of the American dream, up against an all-cash, over-asking golden ticket from Bill Gates or one of the many shell corporations that can close in 2 weeks or less. Let's see. Which offer do you think that they will accept? And which offers do you think they will scoff at, laugh, and decline before heading to the bank to deposit one hell of a large check from the founder of Microsoft? But seriously, you don't have to answer that question. But it isn't the end for these young farmers. They can still go to work and devote their lives to growing food. They will just have to do it as renters and tenants, or pretty much as employees under one of the many Bill Gates foundations. Oh, and you'll have to use the seeds, fertilizers, and pesticides and other GMO inputs at more than likely extremely high prices set by the Gates' proprietary labs and brands. But the Gates' influence doesn't just stop at farmland. Nope. Bill's got the media in his back pocket too, and has invested heavily in the development of MSMs to keep his name clean and deliver the tall tales that he and his team dream up. For example, to garner attention for the issues it cares about, the foundation has invested millions in training programs for journalists. It also funds research on the most effective ways to craft media messages. Yeah, craft. And Gates-backed think tanks turn out media fact sheets and newspaper opinion pieces too. Magazines and scientific journals get Gates money to publish research articles, while experts coached in Gates-funded programs write columns that appear in media outlets from the New York Times to the Huffington Post, while digital portals blur the lines between journalism and spin. The efforts are part of what the foundation calls advocacy and policy. And over the past decade, Gates has devoted $1 billion to these programs, which now account for about a tenth of the giant philanthropy's $3 billion a year spending. The Gates Foundation spends more on policy and advocacy than most big foundations, including Rockefeller and MacArthur, spend in total. Wow. I honestly have to tell you guys that I'm just blown away by all of this. But I guess this was to be expected based on what you guys have all said before. Like this comment here that said, never has the term Gates of hell been more relevant. Or, he's been doing this for quite some time now. It's strange, just like how the Chinese bought up so much land. Confused emoji face. And no matter what Gates is involved, assume it is for nefarious reasons. Man, this is so crazy. And perhaps even more concerning is what's being left out when discussing his farmland. He also has the largest underwater rights under his farmland, and yet the system, government, and policies allow this to continue. I mean, I bet if it were one of us, you or I, they would have already put a stop to this. What do you guys think? How do you feel about all this? Let everybody know in the comments below, and we can review your thoughts in an upcoming video. Please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you all have an amazing, wonderful, and fantastic day.